Hello everyone, how you guys doing? Welcome back to the official NickWalshTV channel. We're live once again. We're playing Spinning Goes, and we're going to try and add to this graph right over here. All right, so here we are, guys. This is our graph filtered specifically for Spinning Goes since the start of this year. This means that it's almost 99.9% the $25 stakes that we're playing throughout this year. We have still yet to hit the 2K games mark. That's fine. We can make up that very quickly if we do fire some multi-tables off stream. But this is what we're going to be working towards. We are slowly digging our way out of this rut that we've been in. It's been really boring, and I'm kind of sick of it. And today, hopefully, we'll be locked in and we'll play some good poker and we'll make something work. How you guys doing? Welcome back to the channel. I had a chance to take a look at the new GTO Wizard last night. I realized about halfway through firing it up on stream that probably the best time for me to investigate new features is not while I'm going, what's this? I don't know. Anyway, I had a chance to play with it. It has a lot of the features that I had before that we didn't have access to. It's got some new features as well. One of the things that I was really excited to see, which I know many of you guys might have spotted as well, as it's not locked specifically to the ultra tier, is the new single size solves that they've done. So I have long estimated or long wondered at what that might look like. In fact, probably throughout my career, I have done a certain amount of that on my own from a less scientific standpoint. So sorry, what is the single size solves? So basically what the AI engine has done is it's taken every single spot that it's solved for GTO Wizard, and rather than giving you a multiple size solution, it's picked what it considers to be the most easy to implement single size per street betting pattern without compromising too much on actual EV. So for example, there might be a spot where you might bet one big blind or three big blinds on the flop in a spin and go. It's calculated whether or not the one or the three is worthwhile, and it's giving you something either in between, or it's gone for one size that it believes to be more useful and easier to implement. I still have to wrap my head around this completely because I've only had a chance to read about it very briefly. What was interesting, though, was as I went through a couple experimental spots, the pattern looked excruciatingly like a pattern that I was implementing myself without the additional technology for many years. And it does kind of raise the question as to the implementation of a 2 or 3 size spot. Now, definitely has merit. Definitely, I think it's important that you study as much as possible. I think more knowledge is always better. But it was very, very interesting to see that a lot of the single size implementation or the simplified single size streets were happening in ways that I was sort of organically already doing myself by my own estimations, having much, much less technology to help me back in the day. So some years ago when I was playing Spinning Goes, I was defaulting to almost always having a one big blind C bet. Obviously, this is like single raise pot, like, in position, blah, blah, blah. And almost always defaulting to having a turn C-bet of something like 3.5 bigs or 4 big blinds. And in a surprising turn of events, the GTO Wizard AI engine has implemented very similar strategies in similar spots. So, interesting. I've still got to do a deep dive into it, but I am really, really fascinated by this because it's kind of coming full circle as to exactly something that I've had in my mind for a while, and very funny and vindicating to realize that perhaps, we probably should have just stuck to our guns to a certain degree. However, also in addition to that, we have full access to like the complete solver, as in we can run our own custom solves, and we also have access to the node locking, which I think is going to be incredibly powerful. So for those of you that don't understand what that means, basically, rather than looking at the library of solves that GTO Wizard has done for us, we can actually do our own solves, and we'll just do it on the fly. In addition to that, we can solve for what is GTO, and then we can adjust and node lock or lock our opponent's strategy to what we believe that they're actually doing, which might deviate from GTO, and then find the solution thereafter. So for example, we could look up or solve for a spot that was 10 big blinds effective heads up. Now, if our opponent's strategies, in fact, why don't we just do one example here while we're here? In fact, I can do this before we open PokerStars as well. So again, just to be absolutely crystal clear, I'm about to fire up GTO Wizard, but PokerStars is not open. We're not doing this while we're playing. We're going to do this strictly as an experiment while we're studying. Let me get logged in quick. So just as a very simplified solution, Let me see if I got this figured out, and I'll fumble my way through this one, guys, okay? So here we go. So let's say that we go into heads up, sit, and go. Actually, let's do a custom solve like this. So custom solve, and we're going to want to do a new solution, okay? So let's assume that we're going to take this from pre-flop. We're going to take this from 2 players only. We're playing Chippy V, which is what you almost always do, heads up. And let's say that we're 10 big blinds effective. This is an interesting one that I haven't done yet. So basically what we're saying is both players have 10 big blinds exactly, or in the case of heads up, it doesn't matter because it's always a 10 big blind effective stack. Blinds are 50.5 and 1, which means that we just have exactly 10 big blinds. There's no rake. We want to include limps, and we're going to solve for 2 GTO opponents. We can actually do these. We can actually do these as player profiles. I still have to work out exactly how the player profiles work because I'm not completely sold on the settings that they have, but you can make your own custom solutions if you think that's closer to custom profiles, excuse me. So pre-flop, big blind is going to be fixed. ISO is going to be to 2.5 here by default. I would say 3 bets probably doesn't exist. I haven't gone this far down the rabbit hole yet, guys. Sorry, what am I talking about? The 3 bet will just be to all in. The 4 bet will just be all in. I mean, it's just none of these will exist, so it doesn't really matter anyway. Small blind open would be to a min raise. 3 bet doesn't matter, but like whatever. Let's just do this again. This is all stupid shit, but whatever. Let's do it like this. In fact, why don't we just do it like this? Fuck this. Automatic here. There we go. That's better. Perfect. That's actually exactly what we want. This is all standard. Okay, cool. So now we create the solution. So, just out of interest, let's duplicate this really quickly. Let's take a look at the solutions library, heads up, and we're looking at 10 big blinds effective. So these two should look very similar. So this is our custom solve. It's just on the fly, so they will deviate ever so slightly, but you can see that they're almost identical. This is the GTO Wizard solve for 10 big blinds effective. This is the solve that we've just done on the fly that we can now mess with a lot, okay? So let's assume that this is our standard strategy. In fact, let's assume that this is the standard strategy for all the opponents that we play, which of course isn't the case. Now, we can make some very, 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 very serious assumptions about how this does not reflect reality. So what we can do is we can come over here, we can actually node lock this one, and what we can do is paint in what we believe to be a more realistic picture of things, okay? So let's assume that our opponents are probably going to jam pretty much all their offsuit aces. They're going to jam pretty much all of these sorts of hands. This will go in the middle. Queen 9 is probably going to be kind of close. They're probably not going to do as much of this. I'll tell you what they won't be doing. They never limp this stuff. The random people never have the right number of limps here, so we can take out loads of this stuff. I mean, loads of this stuff people just assume is complete garbage and totally unplayable. And you can take this to sort of whatever degree you think you want to take it to, right? But you're getting closer to reality every time you do it, right? So our opponents also will never, never, never shove these hands. They never get these ones right. In fact, they probably won't even shove a lot of the suited connectors like they're supposed to. So these end up probably being calls. Let's say 8-7 suited, they like to punt once in a while still. This is probably almost always a call. This is probably almost a call. I would say Queen 10 probably starts to get closer to a jam. People start to really panic with hands like Jack 10. They probably still shove most of their pocket pairs where they're not trapping any of this. I would say they're probably folding a fair number of their weakest suited connectors as well. So like loads of this stuff they just assume is unplayable. Like not even speculative, right? Like a lot of these hands people think are just not a thing at all. And we start to get kind of close to like what looks more realistic. I would probably say loads of these suited connectors are just going to be played as jams. I mean, probably all the way up to something like this. They're probably never going to jam these combos because they just don't know that they can. So we start to get a much more sort of realistic image of what this looks like, right? Let's just say King 4 is played as a call as well. So now that we have what we consider to be a more realistic range, I mean, they might not even limp this stuff, but you get my point, right? This isn't meant to be exact. We're just trying to get something that resembles something, right? Now, after we've done our custom solve, we can apply this node lock, and that will have an impact on everything that happens thereafter. So this is the new node locked range. And let's take a look at what happens when our opponent decides to move all in. So this is the response versus that range that we're shoving, okay? Now, let's say our opponent moves all in according to GTO. We're looking at a very, 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 very different output here, right? So this is what GTO wants us to call. This is what we are expected to call against this adjusted range. And that is very significant, right? And we're doing it in a more scientific way. We don't have to estimate anymore. We can actually get pretty close to not just what GTO says, but then also what GTO would say adjusting for this player type specifically. So we can start to do a lot of work on these sorts of spots where we are probably instinctually doing something pretty close to reality. However, you know, we're probably missing stuff, and there's probably some of it that is also quite counterintuitive as well. So let's say instead that our opponent decides to call according to GTO. This is going to be our response. We're shoving all of our offsuit aces. We're shoving our smallest pairs. We're doing some of that sort of large raising that we've discussed a lot. We're raising to 4 big blinds, which is something we do quite effectively now. Let's take a look at what happens when our opponent plays this calling range instead. So very, very significantly different, right? Suddenly, ace king off, ace queen off, ace jack off. These combinations just want to be all in pre-flop. We don't want to be playing the strategy that we were playing before. To me, this is extremely counterintuitive immediately, okay? And we know that we're getting this one pretty close to reality because this is actually a spot where there's not a lot of other variables that we can fuck up, basically, right? It's the computer is already estimating very closely to what we're going to do. Out of interest also, if you want to compare this to GTO, you can do something like this and it's going to be pretty close. So you can actually have the direct comparison side by side by clicking that button. But this is a very, very, very interesting gap, I would say. So we probably just want to be ripping a lot more of our offsuit kings against sort of the unknown players. We want to be shoving a lot more of these hands against the, like a lot of these become much, much better as checks because our opponents will actually have way more traps. When your opponents have fewer traps, having a high card in your hand and having, and you know, basically your opponent limps just gives you a lot more reign to go kind of crazy here. So immediately, we've been doing this for what, like 5 minutes? We've been live for 13 minutes so far on the stream. And we probably have already confirmed a lot of sort of estimations that we've had surrounding very short stacked heads up poker. And this is probably already a very significant exploit against most random opponents, non-regs. And it's sort of solver approved immediately, right? And node locked. So, didn't mean to kick this off with one of these lessons, but the power that exists here is pretty significant. Assuming that you actually have the knowledge to implement it, right? So it's not easy enough just to turn this on and go like, I'm gonna go find the answer. You kind of have to have a pretty good idea about how people are playing. You know, you can have a conversation as to how realistic this is as well. I would say this is fairly realistic. I think it's actually probably surprising how realistic this might be. In fact, this might even be considerably sort of wider as a limping range than we're giving people credit for. Thank you very much for the follow, Hanging K. What's up? In any case, I'm not going to get too bogged down in this, guys. As you know, this is just kind of like something that I spent a bunch of money on because I'd like us to all benefit from it, and I would like to try and take everything to the next level this year. So I've really splashed out. It cost me like $2,000 for the Ultra package. In addition to obviously doing this kind of thing, we can do some very advanced sort of aggregate reporting, and we can do the aggregate reports based on some of these parameters as well. So, before you could find an aggregate report of, just straight GTO, but you can do the same thing with the node locking as well, which if you're trying to see how a strategy works on the flop, for example, against a certain kind of opponent with a certain kind of style pre-flop, that could be very cool. Whether or not this is a standard profile is another question, but we're not going to get too bogged down in that today. In any case, we're working on the graph. We're going to fire up some games. We're going to do all that. Hello, everybody in the chat. First of all, hello, Raksha. Hello, Tom. Hello, Dankel. What's up, guys? Good to see you. Big Deal Online, the official Big Deal O'Neill. By the way, Big Deal O'Neill, we got to try and get you into some Baldur's Gate. Tony says, Nick, I love you, bro, but please change the starting sound. It sounds like my PC has an error. That's actually not a bad shout. I will consider that, absolutely. AI usually agreeing with what Nick was YOLOing previously. That is exactly correct. And single-size hamburgers, I agree with that too. Tom says, may I suggest hitting and winning at 100x today, and then you make this free? That is not a bad shout, Tom. I'm up for that. Magakaze, good to see you over on YouTube as well. So let's get into it, guys. Let's not get too bogged down in this. As a poker nerd, this makes me very, very, very excited, though. It looks as though specifically for spin and goes, we've already got some very cool stuff applied by default. So a lot of you guys will have access to some of what I'm describing with one of the very small tiers. But if we want to do any of our own custom work, that is something we can look at. In addition to that, guys, I might consider releasing a new pack. So obviously, many of you guys supported me by purchasing the NickWalshTV pre-flop chart pack. That is all pure GTO. And it is a one-time purchase. And like I said, you don't have to have a subscription to continue accessing it as much as you want. But one of the things I really wanted to do was an entire exploit section. And I would love to actually sit down and do a bunch of very common spots and just include those in the pack. And for those of you that bought the advanced pack, like I said in my advertisement, if I were to ever add to that chart pack and make it better or add additional material, I would just simply include that and send that to you guys, because you guys were so supportive of my project from the start. Anyway, how about we play some poker? Oh, I've got a chest here. What's the chest for? Oh, I got to close. Oh, hand to note. Close hand to notes. Shit. Yep. Sorry, guys. I did that thing that I was telling you about. I did that thing I told you I wasn't going to do. And I opened hand to note. Let me open PokerStars again. If I have hand to note open when I open PokerStars, it crashes. Magakaze, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you, dude. I actually think we will be allowed to do something like this, guys. If we commit enough, we have to call the shove, but I think this is the kind of board where we can get enough folds with a big size. So let's go big, and if they shove, we'll run with it. It's okay. Yeah, wish me luck, guys. Here we go. Quite literally the worst case scenario. Maybe not the worst case, but one of the worst case scenarios. Having the 10 on our hand is particularly powerful there. Having the 10 of diamonds might have been better because it means there's fewer combo draws that we're going to get in against. But the whole point there is to maximize folds from second, third pairs, maybe some straight draws. We're probably going a little bit off-piste, but I think once the small blind calls, that's almost always going to be a fold on that board. So there we are. Dankel says, the only thing I don't like about the model is that we shove 8-7 suited, but we don't shove any other non-suited connector and any other non-ace suited connectors. If we shove 8-7 suited, I'm either shoving 8-9 or 7-6 or well. Yeah, I mean, fair enough, Dankel. And like a lot of what I'm trying to put out there is, like I said, that was my first pass at it. If I actually sat and did some proper math, I might work out exactly what that looks like. All right, we got a customer here, chat. I think we're allowed to just do something like this. Instead, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16. Let's try this instead. No dice. Poker player, thank you very much. Yeah, Danko, like I said, that there's no real science to that. That's just me having a crack at it and giving it a once over. If I sat down and did some, if I had to look at some opponents, I might actually be able to work out what that looks like. But there will ultimately end up. I mean, the difference between the two that we just looked at for 5 minutes there, pretty powerful, right? Pretty powerful stuff. We have Jack High. It still might be the best hand. This guy was limping the button earlier. The ace is kind of a scare card, but I wouldn't be surprised if Jack High wins this one. Excuse me. Against the unknown player who's playing more passively, let's slow this one down. I think shoving this would probably be fine as well. But let's just do this instead. I need to open up all my queen high again. Pretty good here. Don't press that button, Nick. Again, queen high, basically the nuts, right? I'm gonna have to look him up, guys. I can't give the speech and then not call here. Could it be a king? Maybe. Probably not, though. Probably not, though, huh, guys? All right, we're taking a flop against the reg. We hit middle pair. Let's start betting here. Queen of Hearts, not exactly like it's not like a jackpot card for them. Not exactly inconsequential. If they do end up having an under pair or whatever, we just get to shut on quite often. Sounds good. Don't think we get value from a 5-bet betting turn anyway. Yeah, getting a fold there is huge. Yeah, I got to figure out what's wrong with hand to note. Whenever I open stars with hand to note, it crashes my stars. Definitely a hand to note issue, though. 6 of spades is live. Fiano flatting here is a little bit weird to me, but we're not folding flop. I think there's a fair whack that Fiona ends up being quite strong. For example. Nailed it. Okay, start with the raise. Just the push here. Hey, Louis, what's up? Just in before the 100. I will absolutely accept that for the $100. Okay. Diamonds are forever. Apparently diamonds are not forever. By the way, guys, we were expecting a goddamn delivery today. Yeah, we got to call any 2 cards here, guys. ATC, baby. All good. Good game for us there. It was a strong game. We definitely won some EV in that one. To be fair, the Jack High part wasn't like a hero call because there was no calling involved, but I was pretty sure we were winning and I would have probably hero called anyway. The Queen High hero call was pretty bad, boy. I want a place in the shade. Thinking about a life. Ed K, what's up, buddy? Let's go, Queens. In the cloud of my mind, I had to get it right. Let me see if I can see where the deliveries come in because I'm really excited about this next bit. I am excited about this next addition to the family. Okay, we're gonna sneak in the limp here. This is a trap. We will on occasion put this into the min-raise category as well. Your shipment is on the way. Here we go. Tracking number. Let's get a bet in on the flop. Due for delivery today. I want more information, you bums. Probably a pretty gross turn. He didn't decide to lead here. I think 7x wants to lead it some of the time. 7 would have been so sweet on that river. I feel like we've played with this guy a bit recently. All right. Sure, bro. Oh, just absolutely drills it, huh? Absolutely Omega drill. Wish me luck, guys. Here we go. Look at the equity. Look at the equity. Basically winning. Basically the nuts. Your item was received by Brighton Delivery Office on the 9th of April 2026 and is now due for delivery today. We aim to deliver your item. Bloody hurry up, mate. Ed K says, I'm fine. Won a tournament in the local pub league on Tuesday. Only the second week I've been playing. Nice. You've already got a target on your back. Ed K's already got a target on his back, guys. Big trouble at the league. The other exciting thing will be to take a look at how the node locking affects the post flop as well, because of course that goes all the way down into the hands themselves. So if we end up doing any of that work in the future, we can actually take a look at how the post flop is affected some of the time as well. Let's just bet. Pretty gross. Nice spot for fours. Really nice spot for fours. Lovely stuff. Well, anyway, guys, hopefully any second now, we should have a delivery on the way. Should have delivery on the way soon, and when that arrives, we will have a new webcam mount, fancy one. Hey Ruthie, good to see you. Welcome to the stream. There we go. So I'm not even exactly sure what it involves, but there is also an ultra-only Discord channel that I've just been invited to for people who are silly enough to spend $1 billion on this. For special ultra people only, Ultra Walsh. From now on, you guys have got to call me Ultra Walsh. From now on, I shall be known as Ultra Walsh. $5 casino bonus. Uh-oh. You know what that means, chat. Team 651, what's up? Good to see you. How's your day going so far today? All right, we're gonna raise. We won't be folding to a shove. Elsewise, we're gonna flop a straight draw to the ace. By the way, chat. It's a pretty good turn. I think now An opportunity to get some more chips in the middle with the free roll. Potentially the best hand. I'd rather not chop this pot, but there we are. That works for me. I'm happy with that. Perfectly happy to also have the best hand. Jables, baby! Where's my goddamn explosion? Hey. $50. Yeah, Ed K, as much as I would love to play that game, I'm not even going to say the words because they're listening, you know? The scanners are listening. As much as I would love to play that wonderful game, every time I do it, YouTube decides that I'm a naughty boy. Ultra Walsh? No? You're not happy with Ultra Walsh? Ask me not to play. GTO Wizard Discord channel is pretty sweet. They do a good job, it would seem. Two of the greatest mods of all time. There's no question mark at the end. Statement of absolute facts. Team 651. King high for the win, obviously. King high for the win, obviously. Not that time. Not that. We got a jack high. We got a queen high today. We got a jack high today. We don't need to push our luck here. It's totally fine. Very good. Let's play spins. I'm running like God. Don't let me luck behave and risk out 19 south the way. Running like God. Hear that sound, that's the universe backing down. This might be the best best purchase I've ever made. Yeti tumbler, absolute icy cold drinks. Gotta make some tea in this one day though. Gotta try and make some tea in this once. Running into kings, not ideal. Spades are good though. Pretty sure the 8-6 push here is standard. Let's get a little notepad going. Let's try and mark some hands for a few. So you guys know that usually I would just mark these in hand to note as we play. But I'm having that issue with hand to note right now where stars is not playing ball. Or rather, hand to note's not playing ball. I know. My baby left me out to dry. That was ineffective. I know. I know. My baby left me out to dry. I was high and Can we win a pot off this gentleman? I don't think we're raised folding this one, guys. We started the hand 15.5 big blinds effective. Nah. Can't fold. Way too good of a hand. The nuts, some would say. And part of that is when we are flipping as well. I was hanging along in the desert sun. Excuse me. What is that? All right, 8 tray. Let's take a flop here. So heads up against the reg. Would expect lots of standard stuff like this. Very standard turn for Nick. Very standard indeed. I want to know where my delivery is. These guys are outrageous. Hand is pretty under-repped here, having not bet flops, so we're gonna play this one slow, I think. Go on, rep it. I dare you. Go on, rep it. I dare you. Nice call on the turn. Managed to eke out a little bit of value there. Let's go for the full 3x here. Value ISO. And then on this flop with the jack of spades in our hand, could you imagine going for a huge bet like this? Good luck, sir. Instant delivery. We absolutely smash it in against them as well. He did have the universe, to be fair. He did have the universe, to be fair. Diamonds have not been our friend today. Anyone want to take the over and under on the amount of time that Nick mentions his delivery? It's going to be a few more times. All right. Little late game heater here. Come on, baby. Nice. Hello, Zintex. Good to see you, bro. All right, so we did win the $75 there. I want to mark the ace-jack spot for review. I mean, obviously, if we're going to big bet, we still call. I would argue on 9-8-4, we probably are supposed to big bet call. I succeeded. I saw call big bet. We'll put this into our review category, and we'll hit that one up in a sec. Got crumbs all over me. All right, the grind continues. Let's just simplify this one. I think it's already going to be pretty close, but the blinds are about to go up as well. So do pick up a few chippers there just before. Yeah, definitely a call here. Blind v blind against the reg. Running into ace king is unfortunate, but the king 8 is going to be mandatory here. We have Irina D marked in blue, but that's just because there's a couple unusual notes. It's not, I'd say Irina is probably one of the regs. Quite consistent. Pretty much committed to any two here. Getting a walk there, pretty amazing. Being dealt 5 tray isn't very useful though. Hello, Pure Gill. Hello from Drusilla's. How we doing? We're doing all right, buddy. How you going? Drusilla's the animal safari park thing. Feels like love, feels like river. Nice hand, Irina. Nice hand. Next game, next game, next game. Very interesting. Queen and a J-Bull. Hello, QB. Good to see you. Slightly above average turn. King of poker. Can he fold a 10? All right, where are we at here? Definitely a push. Very confident of that fact. This place is exhausting. Yeah, the zoo during the holidays is not it. Yeah, mate. I'm sure I went there as a kid. Sort of partially like a small theme park / safari park. Well, I hope you have a great day. Are you there on your own, or are you with the boys, or you just decided you wanted to go to Drusilla's on your own? Come on. Why is my button not... I gotta fix that someday. See, the button definitely not working, is it? Come on, chat. Putting the money in good, and only part of my explosion's going off. There we go. There we go. No way. Yes way. Yes, no, maybe. I don't know. Can we just trap these kings? Yeah. You're not the king of poker. You're not the king of poker. I'm gonna flat the kings here. Because we've got top set. You're not the king of poker. You're not the king of poker. You're not the king of poker, and you're not so big. Go on, give him 5-7 one time. Just to tilt the life out of me. Just to tilt the absolute bejesus out of me. You're not the king of poker, and you're not so big. You're not the king of poker. You're not the king of poker. You're not the king of poker, and you're not so big. If he calls here, we finally crack the king of poker. We've done it. Chat, we've done it. Chat, we've done it. We've defeated the king of poker forever. We have defeated the king of poker forever. This is a turning point. This victory marks the start of our conquering of the kingdoms of the king of poker. Now, all jokes aside, we have kings, we flop top set, and he's got nines. I'm making out like this is some sort of major emotional victory, but I'm not folding nines there. It's actually it's a cold deck no matter how you look at it, really. It's honestly a cold deck no matter how you look at it. And sorry, no disrespect to the king of poker. I was honestly a very trivial spot when you got kings versus nines, heads up, 10 big blinds effective. You know it's not a trivial spot. Pocket jacks being the best hand in the world. Huh. Interesting theory you have there. But you never know. You never know. It was for me. I think it was kind of a trivial spot. For the king of poker, that might have been the straw that finally broke the donkey's back. He's sick and tired of battling us. He's sick of it. Sick of always being hampered by our stellar efforts. Yeah, I need to work on that code. I'm not even sure where the code is saved. No action with the kings there. Uh-oh. What did I say? King of poker? He's in trouble, guys. That one game, that one simple game rattled him to previously unforeseen territories. Yeah, well played us, lol. Guy just flops straight. The limp here is really bad, honestly. The limp here by us is really bad. That's our mistake. Yeah, get a walk with kings as well as Intex. Oh, that's nice. I think we win a little EV here no matter what. Now, let him cook. Just keep it balanced, I think, here. I don't know. The player on the left here is probably an unknown, so actually, why not? Let's just do a little weird thing here. Make a mistake. Make a mistake. Make a mistake. I'm going to try something here, chat. I'm going to try something. Wish me luck, chat. We're going to bluff. Woo! We tried a thing and it worked. We tried a thing and it fully worked. Well, we tried a thing and then we lost it all in. And nope. And yes. No. Oh, I know, Zintex. We don't even talk about that anymore. We don't even talk about that anymore. I think this is a call, guys. Apparently so. Apparently so. We don't talk about the 7-4 off hand that I played, Zintex, on January 22nd of 2024. Or whatever it was. Nice. All right, we are chip leading again. And Kablawi. Come on. Why does this not work, dude? I've got to fix this code at some point. All right, 1 second, guys. Program files, C. Program files, program data. Microsoft, Windows, start menu, programs, startup, boombox. Okay, open with Notepad. All right, I'll do this later. Okay. Next game. Now, Tiago, don't do anything crazy. Especially when I check to trap you. Don't do anything crazy. Now, whatever you do, mate, don't do anything crazy now. I'm trapping you, so you don't do anything crazy. Oh, God, am I getting the speech play here? Getting the speech play? Oh, I got the speech play. I got the emote speech play. The emote speech play. Can we win a flip now? Okay, give him the chips back. Give him the chips back. Perfect. Yeah, you got it, Zintex. You got it, buddy. The king of poker. You know, not everyone can rule forever. I'm just glad I was here for the day. That the straw that broke the donkey's back. Blinds are up. I can fold this one. All right. Can we defeat the king of poker? Broken man, by the way. Broken man. The reign is ended. This is just him trying to regain a little bit of, territory in the kingdom. Broken man. Broken man. Tom says, I really think that the stalling with each action when blind levels are only 60 seconds and only 300 chips is minus EV. I think rapid play to get more hands in is beneficial. I tend to agree, Tom. I tend to agree, buddy. Do you think that I'm intentionally stalling? I mean, I think it's probably important not to react instantaneously, but generally speaking, I'm trying to play fast. I think historically people have said that I play slower than they do, though. What's up, Jake? It's good to see you. 5 streams in a row. Can you believe it? Oh my days, it's glorious. Now, the unknown player, I think we probably want to trap more often than not. The unknown player is far, far, far more likely to give us chips this way. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If 2, yeah, 2 is better. Now, can they have a flush? Potentially. Is the king a scare card, though? This is better. I would say that the play is usually to go for all of it, but given the way that the player played the hand, I wouldn't be surprised if they have a high card or maybe just a 4 or 6. They actually turn up having a 4. And for that reason, sizing down I think is much better. Jacob says, to be fair, you're explaining a hand to the chat a lot and that takes time. That is true. I definitely play faster offline. Yeah. But I do agree with what Tom is saying. I think that the timing bar drops pretty low for things that are obviously pre-flop folds at times. Just something I've noticed. Fair enough, yeah. I mean, you observe it more than anyone else, Tom, so I default to your wisdom. Let's keep an eye on that, because I do in spirit agree with what you're saying as well. I mean, that's something that we've been sort of talking about for a while. Unbalanced min raise for the big blind. No, let's just do this. This is better. I know we've been sneaking in more limp button limps than we should, but I have had reasons. I have had for reasons. For reasons. I have had 4 reasons. Talking in my ears. Yo, Seb, thank you very much for the raid. Hello, everybody from Sebastian's stream. Wagwan, everyone. How you guys doing? Welcome to the NickWalshTV channel. We're playing Spin and Goes today. We're playing $25 Spin and Goes. This year, we're going to play something in the region of $250,000 worth of Spin and Goes. And I hope you guys will hang out with us. If you got any questions, hit me up in the chat. How was Seb's stream today? Did he win any money? Give me the lowdown. Give me the lowdown. I'm married to the cards, but the cards don't love me back. He wakes up with jacks, but the king of poker, the reign has ended. The reign has ended. The king of poker, a king no more, perhaps just a duke. Perhaps just a feudal lord. There is a new king in town. A clap for the trap. We managed to make one of the traps work for us. No, that's not true. We managed to make 2 of the 3, but one of them was the guy flopped a straight. It was a good lead as well. It was actually a very clever lead there. It's a good read of the situation for sure. All right, we're getting min 3-bet. Absolute min 3-bet. And I would love nothing more than to see a flop with King Jack of Hearts and just absolutely drill it. Sebastian just gave us a little raid there. I'm channeling your spirit. Okay, that's not the worst start. This is not the worst start. This is probably quite good because we could still get some smaller pocket pairs to fold. Like, we could even get a hand as strong as like queens to fold here, so wish me luck. Nice work, Seb. Nice work, Seb. We might even get king queen to fold. That'd be cool. Oops. Do not accidentally open that hand note. So technically, I'm probably supposed to call here. I mean, the unknowns are still going to have like 10-9 and Jack 10 and all that stuff. So let's go for it. We're almost flipping against the ace-5, so that's probably not the end of the world. King 8 call. Let's look that one up. No good in the all-in departments. I'd say that was a good one for us, guys. We won a bunch of EV in that first encounter. The King 8, we lose almost nothing. It was like a 60-40. So still plenty of EVs to be won there. Still lots of EVs. What's up, OAP? Good to see you, buddy. Okay, we must be winning. It's impossible to lose. It's impossible to lose. Tom's still waiting for me to get the 100x. So we saw 150x. Was it 50? Yeah, it was a $500 game, wasn't it? We had 150x when we were doing the $10 challenge. We had 150x when we were doing the $10 challenge, and that was we got unlucky. I think we turned 2 pair when our opponent turned 2 pair for like a massive pot, but we were crushing prior to that. Queens is a good hand. Zero should be in here with pretty much ATC. It's not 100%, but it's very, very close. Cool. Come on, cold deck and ace king. So this is going to be like half my stack. This is not half my stack, but that works. Whatever. That's okay. It might still be 3 though. 3 bigs or whatever. That's a cooler. Yeah, Jack 8 of hearts has got a call here for sure. Totally reasonable play. Unlucky running an ace jack, but we take the $50. And I accept. Thank you. The hair's looking kind of like crazy today. All right, train a deuce, going to the flop. We managed to spike a tray. Emil says, "Hi Nick, you have to teach me everything I know about spins." I can try. I can try. We are going to be doing some more work in the study department now that we are fully re-upped on GTO Wiz. Still plenty of work you can do without a tool like that as well, guys. I just find it useful. What will happen here? Oh yeah, fold's fine. All good, all good, all good. Aces is a pretty good hand, guys. I think it's safe to assume that aces is up there. Probably at least a top 3 hand, as Joe Stapes would say. All right, heads up against the unknown player. See if we can't do some damage here. Okay. This has got to be a call. Wish me luck. Running square into AK. I mean, there's no chance ace-10 isn't a call here, so we're always going to call. But just a little note there. I think the shove is probably a bit weird. Totally profitable. But I would say that probably not something regs are going to do at that stack depth too readily. They're going to try and get more value from it. So just open shove. Let's ace-10. What's up, guys? Close. Yeah, like open shove, 14 effective was ace-king off. Fine, like that's not like a bad move, but I think that probably you want to be a bit more deceptive with it most of the time. Try and get more value from the ace-king post-flop, pre-flop. If I have ace-10, if I have ace-jack, if I have ace-queen, you're going to win the chips, but that's obviously a pretty narrow window. But fair enough, he's got a good hand. Ace-10 is a snap call there, though, for sure. What's interesting is people tend to actually shove weaker aces there than they much more readily than they do stronger ace kings or ace x combos. When I'm on the road. King and a tray. That works. Just a straight min raise with the suited ace. Seems good. All right, so today for today's study sesh, I'm going to export all the hands from today. And we're going to run those while we take a look at a couple specific spots I've pulled out. Oh, this is probably a call against the reg. Yeah, feels good. Never ace trade just never feels like a good spot, but against the reg, I think we just got to follow the rules here. So we've got 3 hands that we want to look up or do some deep dive into. We'll run the entire session and see if there's anything that stands out as well. Well, come back of the century.
Yeah, no, the 50x was live, Tom. I'm pretty sure I have a note about it here somewhere as well. We got a $100 game here. So this would have been, if I look at clips in January. Oh, this is all 2026. Yeah, I'm almost positive it was on stream. I'm pretty sure that we did it live. Okay, let's try and do something here, chat. Blind v blind, raising up the 6-4 spades. Try a small c-bet here, seems fine. I think our opponent has hearts or a 5. I don't think they have a queen. So let's try and get to showdown here. If we get shoved on, I think we have to call. Yeah, the 5's fine too. Nice hands. Fair play, sir. Fair play. Completely fair. Misread pre-flop here. Misread on the riv. We can absolutely grind this back, no problem. Especially when Lionel shoves 8-7 of hearts here. Cool. 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 So live. Nice. Okay. Not so live this time, but not dead. Nice hand, buddy. Nice hands. 5 trace suited shove BVB. I'm almost positive that one is going to be GTO. Where were we at? 12, 11? Effective. I mean, against the unknown player as well, we probably get more folds than we should, so it's even more powerful, but I think that one's fine. I think that one is totally Q. Fair play. Woke up with it twice. So the shove here is going to be pretty wide. Especially because this player is on the shorter side. Nice hand. Nice hand, buddy. It's a tricky one. I do think the a6 is supposed to go there. We'll take a look in a second when we do our study sesh, but if it feels that close, might just ditch it completely. With the player, we got the player to act behind. Oh. That was weird. With a player to act behind, the player to act behind makes his shove wider, which makes the a6 closer, but also it's one additional variable that we haven't accounted for, or that, you know, we can't account for. Don't sing because Seb sings better. Seb is a beautiful singer. Like the voice of an angel. Of course we're flush over flush. Of course we're flush over flush. Of course we end up flush over flush somehow. Ah, there it is, Tim. Yeah, heads up for all of it as well. Jack 10 of hearts, mate. Wow. I hope it makes you happy. Ooh, and if you don't have to tell me. Check call river. Try and catch a bluff. All right, nice one. 9 big blinds in a dream. Very fair fight here. 6, 7, king 9. Going to be pretty close to a coin flip. It's like 60-40 exactly. All right, so let's play one more game. Well, Tom, that's the delivery that I've been banging on about. It's supposed to be coming today. So Royal Mail decided that because it was coming from another country, I had to pay 40 pounds duty. I had to pay 40 pounds additionally on top of what I already paid for it because it's an import fee. And now it was their job to deliver it. It was their job to deliver it today. And they're not here. So they charged me for import, and then they said they were going to deliver it today, and it's still not here today. And I wouldn't be surprised if they wait until after I leave the house in a moment to deliver it, and then they can go, well, you weren't in, so when would you like us to deliver it? Oh, we'll just deliver it tomorrow. So annoying. The $500 spin for the $1,500 offsets it a bit, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Not the worst start for Queen Jack of Hearts. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the limp is somewhat suspicious, so he might be really strong, but if we have a single live card and we're up and down, there's already 2.5 dead in the middle. Yeah, all right, wish me luck. Very sneaky, by the way. This is a push at 9 effective, so this is well within the push now. So our opponent decides to limp, trap, 8 effective button. So I'm calling 14, 15, 16, let's call it 17. Calculator, 7 divided by 17. No, Mac. The 500 was after I won the spinning go showdown. And the 50 and the 500 spin was last year, and then the 500 to win 1,500 was also last year. How you going, Mac? Good to see you. King of Poker. This is the King of Poker. Straight. All right, let's pause here, guys. Let's take a look at the graph so far today. I got to close stars completely to do it, though, because stupid technology. Rattlesnake speed. All right, let's take a gander over here. I have the feeling that we got off to a good start today, but towards the end, it's been going a bit worse today. Still a pretty strong performance so far. We will return to that in just a moment, chat. Let me fire up stars again. And let's get to some more games. Let's try and put in a bit more volume here. Straight into a oneer. All right, $100. Oh, and the Spingo is showing now as well. That's cool. My baby left me out to dry. I was alone in the desert sun. Unlucky there, sixes. All right, we're heads up against KT here. Very strange. Nice. You turn it up to 100, but you can't hear any music. I mean, it's definitely playing. I mean, it's what's weird is the music is ending up on the reels that I've been putting out, so it's definitely playing, I think. We're calling a shove here as well, by the way. Monitor and output, yeah. I mean, I can hear it in my ears. It's definitely playing. It's meant to be quite quiet. How about now? Trapping aces. All right, let's see if we can do it. 8.6 into a pot of 6. Seems good. Gotta call this one as well. Clubs! All right. Well, let me know what everyone else thinks. Can you guys hear the music? It's supposed to be quiet. It's background music. $100, $100. Nine big blinds and Ducati dominated. I'll dry my tears with $100 if you got lucky winning. Oh my goodness. Just the absolute dream. I mean, the thing is, because I'm using the amplifier headphones, this amplifier can turn the music out. It can turn, in order to get the best quality out of these, the computer audio itself is on maximum. But the problem is that previously I would have an idea about what you guys were hearing at what volume. But now because I'm running the amplifier, I can turn up this to sound as loud as I want from the amplifier, and I'm not getting a true idea of what you guys hear. I'm not turning up my volume to 100. The ads will blast my ears off, or Nick saying clubs. Yeah, that also works. It's a $100 spin. We could genuinely probably just punt this if we wanted to. Let's try and be clever. Let's try and be clever instead. There we go. Clever. Very, very clever. Undecided on stream tomorrow, Tom. I know that's not particularly helpful, but I need to figure out what the plan is for tomorrow. I think the Brighton Marathon is on Saturday. Not that that has any bearing on what we're talking about. But I think the Brighton Marathon is on Saturday, and then something else is happening on Sunday. Oh no, the Grand National on Saturday, and then the Marathon on Sunday. The Marathon. Right, where the fuck is my parcel, mate? Honestly. Fucking scammers, man. Wow, Geezer is smashing in the cash. Stop running into it, Nick. King. King 7. Definitely a push. Definitely a push. Oh no, the min raise is so fucking strong here. It's embarrassing. Oh my god. Min raise into the big blind short stack. I'm telling you, that guy had us absolutely murdered there. Seen it 1,000 times. Go on, give me a spin. Give me a spin. Not too much of a spin. Fuck. I've been broke so long, it feels like what? Now I break it. Nah, Sacramento, we actually have had a pretty good session so far. Towards the end here, we've had a lot of like annoying ones, but all good. We're about to win a massive pot here, though, so it's all good. Queen high for the win. Can you believe it? Queen high for the win. Can you believe it? Be funny if he had aces and we made a club flush on the river, right? I do think queen high has some semblance to showdown here, though. So just the combo draw then. Just the monstrous combo draw missed instead. Tricky boy, tricky boy. Tricky boy, tricky boy. Let's go, Queen Jack. Wow. What a wake up. All right, we go again. Focus up, focus up, focus up. This is not what you want to do. Gonna try and do something sneaky. Okay. Nice spot. Yeah, this is wild behavior over here. Heads up. Can we take it down? Okay, we're gonna try and set up like this. Gonna set up like this. I love my lifestyle, maybe. Yeah. Power Jam. Power Jam into position. Not exactly what we're looking for here. Hero call. Yeah, boy. I had a feeling. I had a feeling. I had a strong inkling. McNeil is saying, is this AI generated music? Yes, it is. I generated it myself. I generated it myself, senor. I wrote some lyrics as well, actually. There's quite a few of them where like AI wrote some lyrics and then I had to change it because it sounded a bit goofy. But there's a few that where I wrote all the lyrics. Stupid river. And ace queen. We're gonna put in this many big blinds. We have been running circles around this geezer. Big bet turn. Running circles around this geezer. Yeah, McNeil, I bought a Suno account and I generated all the music you listen to now. So it's all technically owned by myself and therefore will not be subject to any dramas on you know, in the process of checking accounts, checking for copyright music, all that bullshit. He's gonna shove a 4, we're gonna snap it off. Okay. If he has an 8, he's about to win the pot. Circles, baby, circles. Yeah, McNeil. I mean, I put some of it on the Discord already, along with some funnier ones as well. Some of these are actually pretty cool. That like, I've done a fair number of like funny sort of silly jingles as well. I should master it first though. So I don't know if you've used the master feature on there, but some of these have been mastered. AI mastered, that is. I quite often prefer the raw version, to be honest. That was an absolute textbook game for us right there, chat. Shazza's on the button. Come on, Shazza. Go on, Shazza. Go on, ace four. All right, let's see if we can do it again, chat. I'm doing this because it's in the meta. This is what we just did. This was the exchange we had just before in the previous game. He did a little click back when he had the two pair on the flop. Meta. Give him the meta. Soikles, I tell you. Soikles. Soikles around this guy. We're running soikles around him. Cool. Next game. We're running cycles around this guy. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to fix hand to note, guys. I'm not even sure who to contact. There must be some sort of a help desk or something. It's really annoying. It's not what I paid for. This is not the thing that I paid for, really. Queen in a tent, baby. Let's go. Pocket Kings is also a pretty good hand. Definitely top three. Beautiful. The A7 push is textbook as well here. It's fair. It's very fair. We're heads up against the same guy for the third game in a row, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right? Subson. Wow. We're running cycles around this guy. Okay. We are running cycles around this guy. Can we get another game? And again? 4 games in a row? Okay. 4 games in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4. He wasn't in this game, was he? Oh, actually, this is already 5 games in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be the 5th game in a row. McCoy's my boy. What's up? Good to see you. Reach out on their Discord. They are very responsive. Good point, mate. Good point. Could you give me an invite to that Discord? Am I not in the Hands No Discord? McCoy, could you drop me an invite stat, please? Or somebody has an invite to the H2 hand to note. It's like, I don't mind paying it. Like, I think it's a good product, but if it's not working while I'm playing on PokerStars, it's not very good, right? I'm legitimately just trying to track hands for review as well, because now I've got a list of stuff that I want us to look up, but it's all... I've got a list of hands that I want to look up, but I got to find it manually now. Yeah, I mean, look, this is an interesting one, guys. Like, I think probably the float here wins us tons of chips. We have the backdoor straight draw, flush draw as well. I would anticipate that this is a bluff very often as well, so we probably get to bluff on the turn when he slows down. Never mind, that's fine. Sometimes they will just have a hand as well. But also, this behavior is not cool. Dunbar, thank you very much for the join. Thank you for the sub, mates. Or can somebody drop the link in chat? Cycles. Cycles. He wants his revenge. He wants his revenge. He wants his revenge, but we're running cycles around him. Yes, thank you, Tom. That's it, buddy. We're running cycles around him. Spade? Oh my God, we're running cycles around him. All right, heads up, heads up, heads up, heads up. I mean, if this isn't an upswing on our graph, I don't know what's going to be an upswing on our graph, guys. Another absolutely stellar game. Let's keep going. We want more like this. More action, please. All right, perfect. Thank you for that, guys. That was very helpful. I'll get on them and I'll get on the Discord and I'll have a conversation with them. Soikles! Absolute soikles. This guy's got pocket fours. We're running soikles around him. All right, guys, let's play a couple more games and then we'll do some study. Woohoo! 10x multi. All right, can we win the 10x multi against Subson? We've been running soikles around him. Can we make it a reality in the 10x multiplier? Two pretty much unknown players. We've barely played with this guy, as far as I'm aware. Never seen this many kings. This is what happens when you finally destroy the king of poker. And you learn to run cycles around your opponents. All right, guys, we're in the 10x multi. We have historically performed very well in the deeper stack spinning goes. Historically speaking, we have an edge. This would be a great way to wrap up this stream. This would be a great way to wrap up this session. All right, I mean, it was foretold. It's going to be me and Subson heads up, isn't it? See how this one goes first. Wow, the King 6 is such a spew. All right, as it was foretold, as it was prophesized, it's me and Subson. We start the heads up battle, 32 big blinds effective. All right, who wants a piece? Come on. Who wants a piece? King Queen would be such a brutal spot. Oh, give him King Queen. Why not? That's fine. That's fine. We accept these. We accept these. All right, so we are deep enough to just min raise this one. That's fine. Just strictly for value. Big bet these flops. It's a pretty interesting turn. We are going to have the best hand here a lot with ace high.
I'm calling a river bet here. You've got to call river bets here. If he has a 5 and he's value betting, if he has a deuce and he's value betting, fine. I'm just going to say it. Got a big chunk on the flop there. Currently running cycles around this guy. I was calling that river, guys. I told you I was calling it. I was not stressed about calling there. Emil, I have actually played there in a previous life. I played there for a little bit. Interesting format there. Yeah. They were called Hex or something. Long time ago. It was foretold, chat. It was written in the stars. This day would come. Interesting. Very interesting. I mean, don't get me wrong, he kind of got it in like okay-ish, but he kind of got it in okay-ish, but that was a big ass call pre-flop. Soikles. For the 10x multiplier. He's done it again, chat. He's done it again. Running cycles around this guy. Absolute cycles. All right, let me update my my thing before I forget, guys. So in 2026, we have played. Check this out, guys. We have played 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 10x multipliers. And we have won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them. We have won 66.67% of the 10x multipliers that we've played this year. And we have been ITM 86.67%. That GIF is making me have some home improvement vibes, like you said on the stream the other day. It's a good one, right? I mean, look, okay, so the 9-7 suited thing, there is a chance that you are supposed to call that much pre-flop, but it feels
chunks, right? So anyway, let's take a look at the results, guys. Let's close up stars for now. Let's take a look at some hands for review, including the ace-jack suited big spot. Oh, that actually might be our delivery, guys. 1 second. Hello. Thank you. Thank God it finally arrived just in time for stream. Look at all of the actual stickers that's gone onto this thing to get here. Doxing myself as well. Classic Nick. Okay. Anyway, let's take a look at some hands for review. So first and foremost, guys, I'm going to close up PokerStars. Stars is now actually closed already. Cycles. Let's take a look at some hands for review really quick, first of all. So right off the bat, let me fire up... oh, sorry, guys. Let me fire up hand to note again. So right off the bat, let's take a look at the ace-jack spot. I mean, like... I don't know, my instinct says that we are supposed to be defending like quite a lot to the large ISO. Theoretically, but I don't know. Once you get to the flop, you're not folding, obviously. That's fair. So this was today. Refreshed. So we ended up winning $200 today, but much more important than that, our 91 chip EV. This is what we've been waiting for, guys. Significantly good spots for EV. We've actually been encountering a fair number of unknown players, which obviously plays a big role in this. Our red line is looking good. I felt like today was very, very, very locked in. So basically, so far, if we filter for this week, it's been a very, very good. It's been a good week for us in terms of actually trying to claw back some EV, because I just think right now we are so far behind, our true EV, but we've played so few games. So anyway, if we take a look at the hands we've actually played today, let's filter for 4 minutes ago. So we end up having ace-jack in this spot. This is the one that we want to review really quickly. Oops. Yeah, exactly. Tom, I'm a dumbass, sorry. Okay, so I'm almost positive that this is a large ISO hand. So this is part of our advanced strategy. If you buy the NickWalshTV chart pack with... if we go into the NWTV Advanced Chart Pack, the Advanced Chart Pack will have the dynamic ISO sizes that we've spoken about a lot. So images, heads up advanced, big blind, and then versus limp, and then we're looking at the, let's call it 20 big blinds effective. Okay, so far so good, textbook. So this is the 20 big blind range. Ace-jack offsuit 100% ISO to 6.5. So we are nailing the bet size here. And if I remember correctly, 6.5 is the size that is the largest size that we use at any stack depth apart from 25 and higher. So once we get to 30, we have a big one as well. But basically that doesn't happen in most games we play. So despite the fact we're not playing 20 that often, we do find the correct size. You can see that at 22, it's exactly the same. So we do go for a large ISO. And let's take a look at what that defend range looks like. So our opponent ends up calling us with 9-7 of diamonds. This is how it played out. I ISO'd a 6.5, which is textbook apparently. Call, and then we actually went broke. I have a sneaking suspicion this isn't as crazy as it looks. But you have to be very confident that your opponent is playing the correct strategy with the correct frequencies, or this goes really, really bad. If your opponent does this and you don't know them and you don't know that they're employing this strategy appropriately, the 9-7 suited thing is like a massive punt, but that's sort of by the by. So if we take a look at heads up advanced small blind, and then we take a look at versus ISO not all in, and we look at 20 big blinds effective versus 6.5, 9-7 suited does actually just
It's in there. It looks like it's not quite 100%, but this is part of the actual strategy. I kind of thought as much as well. Like I said, we're kind of giving the guy a hard time on stream. No offense to you, by the way, mate, if you're watching this. We were just joking about running circles around you. But like I said, this does feel like probably the appropriate thing to do. Once you arrive on the flush draw board, get the money in, and then it's a flip. So, you know, fair enough. This actual encounter isn't as wild as it felt at the time. Hello, first time chatter. Good to see you, buddy. Rusid, hello. So this one isn't that crazy. In any case, let's take a look at this A6 off spot as well. It was an A6 off multi-way spot. See, this is just not the way to do the review sessions, guys. This is not going to be filter for today. And then if I do pre-flop. Oh, the filter thing is so weird here. Yeah, this just isn't the way to do it, guys. I'm gonna have to see if I can fix my hand to note, because trying to find stuff like this is so annoying. It's doing the thing where it's not recognizing it's supposed to load the hands beneath either. Tom, that's right. Okay, so maybe if I zoom. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna have to figure out how to update this, guys. We have a couple hands for review here, but this is not the way to do it. Previously, if you guys have ever seen my streams, I would just put hands into hands marked, but I can't have hands open right now. With stars open or it crashes. It's not Stars' fault, to be fair. It is actually to do with hand to note. So I guess there's not a lot we can do if we can't open these hands up. But good looking graph anyway. Let's take a look at how this looks on the if we filter for this year. That should put a nice, yeah, that should get us back to a reasonable point here as well. That's nice. I mean, I'm hoping not for something that doesn't resemble this again. That was horrible. But obviously we're putting some points up on the board. I mean, look, guys, I want to do a review session now, but if I can't pull up the hands, I'm not really sure what to tell you. What's supposed to happen is you're supposed to get to the bottom of here and it's supposed to load more hands. These obviously aren't all the hands that we've played. Can I do this? Can I filter specifically for hands? If I click on this, maybe I can get lucky here. Yeah, okay, maybe. Okay, maybe we can get lucky here. It was A6 off. Wasn't this one? It wasn't raise call. Why aren't they in order? Life tilt, guys. So these are all the suited aces. Oh man. Okay, yeah, this is not the way to do it. Sorry, guys. This is annoying me, but it's just not going to happen right now with the study sessions. I'll have to take this offline. Can you write down the time of the hand and then find it that way? No, not really, because again, I only have the power to filter it from here. I don't know. This isn't the right way to do it anyway. What we can do is look up the spot as I remember it, but it's not very visual for people that weren't here for the actual hand itself. Okay, well, in any case, really quickly, guys, let me just try and do something over here. Hey, Rick Dolph, how's it going, buddy? Good to see you, mate. So just out of interest, guys, this is a little bit of, I'm going a bit off-piste here. So we're not going to be able to find the hands that I wanted to review today. There was nothing particularly super interesting anyway, to be fair. Just kind of general upkeep. But really frustrating considering the fact that this is the software that's failing us when actually this is the software we were waiting to upgrade in order to make use. So just out of interest, I want to try and do a bit of an experiment here now. So let's go back to these were the heads up hands that we did earlier, right? So this was solved for 10 big blinds heads up with limps. And this is the GTO unnode locked version. So something that I've long wondered about is how much tighter we need to play against unknown players when we are playing heads up, shallow stacked, and we have called pre-flops. So just out of interest, let's do a little bit of a dive on this before we wrap things up. So we're going to play this as a call. And now, out of interest, at this stack depth, we actually want to edit this because what we actually want to do is have a couple different raise sizes. So if we open up the NWTV chart pack, I've already worked out the sizes that I think are going to be optimal, and GTO Wizard tends to agree. We disagree on a couple of the sizes, but for the most part, it's similar. So big blind versus limp, and we're 10 big blinds effective. So if we open up this chart really quick, the sizes that we're going to use here are 3.5 and 2.5. So this is our larger size. We want to add another raise size that is also 2.5. According to GTO Wiz, I think that they prefer a 4 big blind ISO here. So just for the sake of making reference to the original, let's do something like this. Okay, so confirm that node is updated. And now you can see that the strategy starts to much more closely resemble what we see here. So if we open up this one again, this looks a lot closer to what we kind of have, right? So their big ISOs come from these ones, kind of like the ace jack that we played a moment ago. These spots are all looking very similar. 8-7 suited, 8-9 suited. So it's pretty close. It's going to be slightly different because they're using a 4x ISO and we use a 3.5. So the 3.5 is going to be merged in here a bit more. But we're close, okay? Now let's say that we were to adjust this for a closer to recreational strategy. It's going to take some doing, but let's assume, oops, undo that. Don't do that. Let's do it like this instead. So let's assume that our opponents who are not studied in this game will almost always play these weak combos as checkbacks. I mean, look, if you haven't studied heads up, there is no chance that you're making any of these ISOs. They just have no ISO bluffs. They're just not doing it at anywhere near the correct frequency, and they're certainly not doing it with the weakest stuff down there. So story checks out so far. I'd say that this is already highly accurate in terms of the fact that we can just omit loads of these raises. Like, you know, they'd love to see a flop with these hands, never raising with these combos. I'd say your average player is already looking something closer to this. I would say that your average player who hasn't studied is going to probably assume that they want to be shoving most of their aces here as well. I mean, they're probably not raising not all in until something like ace 10 suited. They're probably not going to raise king 8 suited at all, to be honest. Remember that this is a limp versus limp heads up out of position. This is the out of position player after they've seen the limp. I mean, they're not raising king 9 or queen 9 either. Yeah, I mean, look, this is kind of how it is. Like, this is way more accurate. So without going too crazy, right? We're going to give them some credit for being able to raise not all in with, you know, strongish hands. I mean, look, just for the sake of fairness, you know, should we just like maybe whack some of these back in there? And maybe we'll say that they're always going to raise those hands. Something like that. Just as a thought experiment, right? Because like I said, this isn't meant to be exact. As soon as your opponent is not raising all of those bluff combos, some of which are just garbage. Like, most people would look at those hands and go, this is exactly the kind of hand I'm not supposed to play in Texas Hold'em, right? So tons of this, right? As soon as we remove this and we start to include way more value, I mean, you know, I don't know, maybe we're being too harsh. Maybe they're gonna do these where they, you know, these combinations a little bit more. What they're definitely not doing is using that large ISO size, right? So in fairness, we should probably also include these as like, you know, more standard ISO sizes in general. Just do like everything like that. I'd say this is pretty standard. Okay, I don't think this is that crazy. I think a lot of players will play like this if they haven't studied heads up. So if we apply this now, and let's say that, I mean, we've kind of messed this up a little bit, actually. Let's edit this again. All right, there we go. This is wrong down here, though. The small pairs are wrong. They shove all these for sure. Definitely shoving these. Definitely. Okay, cool. This is more accurate. All right, so let's say that this is the strategy, and let's just assume that we are basically always going to, our opponents are always going to have a smaller raise. They're not going to use this large size, or they're basically going to default to a push if they want to commit, but they don't have this in-between size. So let's say that they raise to 2.5. Our calling range is going to be very, very, very different, I think. So probably even better than doing it this way. Let's open up another tab. And let's go ahead and open up a solution library. We're looking at heads up, sit and go, 10 big blinds. And our opponent has, oh, sorry, call. Our opponent is raised to 2.5. And this is our strategy. So this is the GTO strategy, calling 45.9% of the time. And our calling range now, when we've adjusted this big blind strategy, is now 24.9%. And for absolutely ages, I mean, look, it's not rocket science. I'm not saying I'm some sort of a genius, but if people are not raising enough from out of position, your range should be tighter. I just don't know how to like calculate that manually, right? So having this tool now will allow us to see exactly what kind of combos still want to be defending and the frequency at which we want to do it. But that is already a devastating difference. Like a truly, truly, truly devastating difference. 45.9% of the time against GTO. And now we're doing it 24.9% of the time by comparison, right? So if I highlight just the calls, look at how many of these combos are still in the mix here. And then look at the combinations that we still need to get in here over here. Like, this is kind of crazy, right? And we still haven't even, this isn't optimized either, right? And if we were to go back and, you know, really take a look at how we node lock this one, if we take a look at how we've node locked this, if we actually go through and clean this up so it's all perfect, we'll start to get a fairly accurate idea, at least like the concept of how we want to approach this. But for absolutely ages, you know, the only thing you could do is we solve for GTO, and now I think that this is what it should look like. Now, this is not that crazy. This kind of resembles something that I would imagine we would probably do in real life. However, we can do this much more rapidly now, and I think there probably is a weekend or something where I sit down and I just do a lot of this work, and I'll just get you guys some screenshots and add it to the chart pack that we've already created. You know what I mean? Just because I think that for a little while we had technology that would show us what we could do with GTO, and then for a little while what we had was technology that would indicate how frequently we were deviating from GTO, but not where it might be appropriate to deviate from GTO. And I think that this is a perfect example of a spot where players are probably becoming a bit of a slave to the machine here. Because you could see how 10-8 offsuit is like not that wild, right? 10-8 offsuit as a call versus ISO 2.5 seems like this is something that we probably should still be doing. They're still playable hands. And this is maybe a bit too extreme. Maybe we've gone a bit too overboard. We haven't included like any bluffs at all, really. But I don't think that's that insane for people that don't play heads up. They're going to play very ABC. In fact, they might even just be shoving ace-10 suited versus limp. They might shove all their, like, these are people that see a 10 big blind stack and they are terrified that there's any other play other than all in, right? Very often. So there's probably a way to sort of methodically work out exactly where there is an adjusted version of this that's not as extreme, and then trying to figure out exactly what that looks like. Now, it's not about memorizing exactly what we see here. It's not about memorizing this. It's about understanding the shape of it, right? If you can just remember the general shape of a graph in terms of which boxes are filled out, and in your mind you go, all the pairs are in the middle, all the offsuit aces are here, all the suited aces are up here, and this is all the suited hands. Once you can start to visualize that, you're going to find yourself in a lot more situations where you can make much better decisions, and you don't have to know exactly the spot. You just have to understand like the feeling of the spot. So if we ended up doing maybe, let's say that we looked at heads up, 15 big blinds effective, 10 big blinds effective, 7 big blinds effective, or something like that. Or like maybe 8 is better, like 8, 10, 12. 8, 10, 12, 15 are like very common in the new format. We could probably, in a single afternoon, screenshot, export, whatever you want to say, some adjusted exploit strategies that would probably immediately make us, you know, an extra 5 chips in every game or something like that, or every game where we're playing against unknown players. Because we know the strategy against how to play against regs. We're good at that. You can outsmart them. You can do clever stuff, but for the most part, 2 regs are just going to play a very good strategy and nobody's going to win any chips. So maximizing our exposure to unknown players and understanding how their strategy is going to massively deviate from what we've memorized, I think is very powerful here. Syntax says, from my experience, villains ISO not as often as they should be. They usually tend to have less bluff ISO rather than only value raise, so I'd rather tighten up our range. It's just natural. That's not rocket science, and like I said, I've said that on stream many times before. I don't think I'm some sort of super genius for coming to that conclusion. I think that's very natural. But what does that look like, right? You know, I thought to myself, I should play tighter here. I don't know what that looks like. Now we start to get an idea about what that actually might look like, you know. Also, just out of interest, oops, that's not what I meant to do. Yeah, that's fine. Call. But I mean, what a difference it is, right? I mean, also, a lot of these combinations up here, a lot of these hands here, these would be all-ins versus the 2.5, right? These are like slam dunk all-ins. Suddenly, actually flatting them performs much better. Playing hands slower with a tighter range against unknown players, you know, is pretty impactful. Anyway, look, guys, again, these are the kind of experiments that I want to do offline where I can draw like better conclusions and also have better outputs, better inputs for better outputs. So I'm going to take this offline again, but I will try and sort out hand to note for next week. Like I said, you guys might actually just see me tomorrow. I might do a couple hours in the afternoon or something. I'm not sure if tomorrow is going to work out because I've got some other stuff going on, but I'm very excited for these kinds of things. Anyway, this is the new thing that I ordered. This is the Mag 2. This is the extremely overpriced magnetic thing. Magnetic. Oh. 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 Yeah, no, this is going to work. So, okay, I'll leave the camera there. Basically, this bad boy here, it's got like really soft padding on here, and it's a magnet, and it should theoretically magnetize to the monitor. Whoa. Whoa, that worked really well. Okay, maybe not overpriced. It does feel, it's got a good weight to it. But basically, the webcam is going to mount there, and then it will plug in at the top here, and I'll be able to move this around my giant monitor and give you guys infinite perspective. So, let me see if I can do this for you. Okay, I gotta unplug you guys for a sec. One moment. This is pretty cool. So, in just a moment, I will reposition you. This camera gets really hot, Jesus. Okay. So, one second. New week, new overpriced order. Okay. So, one second. So, it's hard to describe, but if this gives you some idea, I can move this thing and stick it to any part of the monitor. So if I want it to be more eye level, for example, I don't know. But also, in the event that I'm doing work for commentary, I can look directly here and have the screen directly behind it, and it just sits right in front. Cool. So there are additional magnets in here, apparently. Okay. Don't know what that is for. Cool. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's definitely doing the thing. Anyway, I'll have a play with it, guys. I'll get it set up so it looks nice. Oh, it's a very simple thing, but I think it will make a very considerable difference. What is this? Maybe that's like a bigger magnet. Anyway, I'll have a read of the instructions. All right, that's it for today, guys. Love you all very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. Good luck at the tables if you're going to play. I'll see you guys tomorrow, maybe. If not, I will see you guys next time, next week. Lots more spins. Thank you for your support, guys. Appreciate it. A couple more sessions like this, and we will be well and truly out of the doldrums and well on our way for this challenge. So until then, signing off for now, guys. Love you. Good night. And I'll see you guys next time.